You are listening to the Lucha Central Podcast Network. And now, LuchaCentral.com presents Masks, Mats, and Mayhem.
Right? You just saw your hand moving around, and it looked like...
No, I was holding the bowls. Welcome to another edition of Masks, Mats, and Mayhem. I am your host, Justin Outlaw Harvey. You can find me on social media at JustinHarvey75. You can find the entire show on social media at MMMShow75. Did that work better, Byron? Did I finally get this thing right? Do I get an A+? All right. Then let's do the show.
Tyron Fever said it went well.
So that over there is at Byron Fever. But there's no at Billy Fever. Where's Billy?
Billy's somewhere else. She's at home right now resting because she's a cat. And she had a busy day of being a cat.
I miss Billy Fever walking on my pizza and making me deathly ill.
Was she around then? She was around then, but she did not get on the pizza.
She walked
I bought
on
you
the
and Casey pizza. She didn't.
She walked all over it, and then me and Casey got sick, and she didn't walk on your piece, so you were fine. I think your cat is trying to kill us.
Well, she's nice. Anyway, she saw Casey recently. And she was friendly.
First of all, happy
Juneteenth.
Oh, you let Casey into your house? Yeah, happy Juneteenth, Byron.
Thank you. Happy Juneteenth to you too.
You know what that is, right? Well,
that's when when
you know all about Juneteenth, right?
I know a little bit of it.
Okay.
Like you want me to say what I know?
Sure, let's see. I mean, I didn't, but now that you've brought it up and you've mentioned it and volunteered, I would love to.
Juneteenth is when the slaves in Texas found out that they were freed 2 years after they were freed, because Texas is the best state.
Good enough. And in celebration of Juneteenth, I just want to say thanks, Byron. Thank you for all that you've done with your white guilt to give us all reparations for all of the terrible things we have suffered throughout time. Thank you.
You're welcome. And it certainly is my pleasure to frequent Black-owned businesses, especially my favorite restaurants and bars when I lived in Brooklyn. It was very great.
So I got to say this.
Yeah,
man, I've been talking about it with some people and, Black folks and lots of folks, actually. Things really have started to change in a lot of ways, at least in my business, on my end of the entertainment world, since the whole BLM thing last year. Like, literally, I'm going on my 18th in a row minority-owned or female-run business in a row for Food Paradise. It's never happened before.
That's awesome. And it makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, and it's weird too, because I know how the casting process goes for the show, and it's really not based on like trying to hit some diversity quotient or whatever. It's just like folks are being recognized and these stories are being told now, and I think that they're super applicable to a lot of things. I just think it's cool. I think it's cool.
Well, yeah, but in front of and behind the camera, I've been fortunate to work on crews, albeit small, but diverse, and it really helps at the least balance out the crew and the atmosphere among the crew. It doesn't become too heavy with dick jokes or too heavy with whatever. It's good to have a balance. You know what I mean? And also,
and the show I'm working on too, it's like, it's so diverse too, because we're talking female owners, Latinas, African Americans, had a drag queen, gay, everybody. Like, we're covering the bases this year. It's amazing. Yeah,
well,
I'm just surprised.
Yeah, and I mean, and I think some people
maybe I shouldn't be, but I am.
Yeah, well, some people can make complaints about behind the camera about diversity hires, blah blah blah. Trying to do that instead of what's best, even though you never have hired a crew purely on what's best. You hire your friends or people you're comfortable with. It's pretty much, but on camera, yeah, I mean, the people you hire as talent have to produce results. So
Absolutely.
you can't really argue anyone that goes on a show. And also, like, maybe we've kind of like tapped the well of boring white bread talent.
I think that's part of what it is too, is there's a shift in what people find entertaining now. And it's like, look, we all know that there's a lot of badass white male chefs out there. There's nobody's taking anything away from any of those guys. They're badass, but also you've seen it. You've seen the white guy with the tweezers doing the fine refined food. Now you've also seen all the guys with the small plates and the gastropubs and all that stuff. Like you've seen that on TV a million times now. So now we're branching out, and like Fresh Fried and Crispy was a lot of fried food, and that speaks to a different marketplace, and they're a different set of owners for that show. And now Food Paradise has always been it covers a lot of different styles of food, but the show is really based on finding those fun restaurants and those fun stories and kind of more zany food. And I think that speaks to a higher minority and diversity quotient in just the principle of what it is alone. You're not talking about fancy French dining and fine dining and shit like that.
Yeah. And you're looking at,
I'm eating a sandwich.
I would like to eat a sandwich too, but you're looking at like genres that are staples of daytime TV that people are always going to watch. You could watch like 8 episodes in a row and talk to people about it. And it's been done to death, but it's the appeal about these shows, and like even home renovation shows or travel shows or whatever, is you're getting a bit of escapism. And I really enjoy when I was watching your show, Fresh Fried Crispy, you make the
on
food,
Netflix.
But you see that on Netflix now, watch it now. You know what? Just while you're watching this, stream it on mute in the background. Just let it cycle through.
Please. But I want that second season so bad. That show was so much fun to do.
But it's really great. Like, I guess I can kind of equate it to one of the first books I ever read that inspired me to be an editor. Didn't talk about editing. Didn't talk about the buttons you press. It talked about what the editors look and feel for when they're looking at scenes, or like more of their personalities and how they bring that into the thing. And I think that's what I really enjoyed about Fresh Fried Crispy, is you're getting a feel for what goes in behind the food and behind the restaurant. And that's really cool. It's a character piece. It's a story piece. And then you get to see food actually fry in a fryer, which I should not I should not be allowed to watch in public.
So also I want to shout out this week's sponsors. I was just in STL St. Louis. Great time there. I was back there doing a couple of restaurants for Food Paradise, but I got to hook up with my boy Quee over at Nudo. So this week's show is sponsored by Nudo STL, all the homies out there, and my boy David Choi over at Soul Taco. They had a really fun event yesterday that I got to go to. The whole restaurant community out there. Shout out to my boy Orlando and all the homies out there. The whole restaurant community in St. Louis is super duper awesome. And thank you guys so much. And to my main man Quee over there, thank you for always repping the show. He's actually been on the show before. You go back. I don't remember exactly what episodes he's come on a couple times to talk MMA. But that's the next thing I want to talk about, because at this shindig, a lot of Tyron Woodley's people were there. Tyron wasn't there though, because he was actually he's out training right now. He's doing a training camp for the Jake Paul fight already. And so the question on everyone's mind is like, is it real? Is this fight going to be real, or is Tyron taking a dive, or are they going to go and pussyfoot around? But from talking to some of his trainers and his sister and some of the people who should know, from everything they're saying, it's legit. Tyron wants to take the kid's head off. Like, he's not going to fuck around. He's training for real. He's in a real boxing camp right now. And that's bad news for Jake Paul. And I think that the fight is designed for Tyron to actually win. I don't think it will be nearly as kind of gimmicked up as this last Floyd Mayweather fight with Paul's brother. But I think it might be a real fight. And I think one of the key factors to this first one being very, very real is the fact that there's an automatic rematch clause for Jake if he loses, which means I think he fully intends upon losing. And then they get to run it back for some more money. Now, hopefully he puts forth a good enough showing that there's cause for a rematch. But God bless Tyron, because I mean, I think this is the right kind of money grab for this stage of his career. Yeah, he's lost a couple fights in a row, but it's so funny to me because, yeah, maybe the top 2 or 3 guys in the division will give him fits or are really close fights, or maybe can beat him every time. Who knows? But it's still close. It's still competitive. But then he can beat everybody else at his weight in the entire world. And it's one of these weird phenomena with MMA where it's almost a curse sometimes when you get to the top like he did. He had a lot of trouble getting there and getting respect for the fights. Then once he got there, he had trouble getting the money. And now, he finally got up to the top. He was finally getting the money, and then he fucking loses. And it's like, oh, that sucks so bad, bro. But then it's like, what do you do from there? Because, yeah, maybe the guys who are at the top of the mountain where the money is, maybe he can't beat them. And he's already fought him a couple times and stuff. But now he still has to make some money, and he can beat everybody else in the entire division across the globe, but nobody wants to see him fight those guys. So what do? You take this Jake Paul fight. You do exactly this. You stay relevant. You stay out there. He's still a top tier athlete, and the guy deserves his fucking paydays, and he didn't get as many of them in the UFC as he should have. So I think kudos to him for this fight. I'm putting money on it. I'm going to put money on Tyron after talking to his people. I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be a shoot, and I think it's going to go down and be a lot of fun. I think he'll come in really flat-footed at first, and it'll throw Jake Paul off, and then I think he's going to bust out and start moving the footwork around, start pivoting left and right on him, and that kid's not going to know what hit him because Tyron has real power, is going to do a real thing, 100% up on that kid's face, and I am looking forward to all of it. So, you don't have to believe me, and maybe even his people aren't in on it, but if there is some kind of swerve or work going on there, it is certainly not known to any of his folks from his camp or his side that I have spoken to, and they all seem pretty content with the fact that it's going to be a real deal, and he's not taking any kind of weird dive or anything. So I don't know that that's news, but
they need to have. I mean, that's like the biggest news thread among combat sports are the Paul brothers.
Yeah, and I'm happy to have those guys. I'm happy to have those guys in the sport. I think they're generating interest and money, and they're bringing spectacle to the sport. Here's the thing: like, if you look at a team sport that has a season, you're constantly working up to the spectacle, and what the spectacle is every year. You're going to get to that championship, and there's that goal. With combat sports, you're just working up to one single fight. You don't have that season. So if you don't create spectacle, I don't care if it's fake and it's wrestling, or if it's boxing, or if it's these exhibition kind of fights where you're crossing things, you have to create spectacle, and if you don't, then the money is just not going to be there as much. So I just think the Paul brothers, as much as they may be douchebags, I don't necessarily like them as people. If they're generating interest in the sport and they can get people to watch and pay the money for the spectacle alone, they are doing good for everybody who's in the sport.
Yeah, definitely would like to see more being put back into the sport on the undercard for them. Also, they got to do this a legit thing every now and then. Like, hopefully this fight is going to be like, they need to get beaten up once or twice. Otherwise, maybe they'll still make money off the YouTube fans, but I don't know. I'll lose interest in watching them.
I mean, who knows? Yeah, and eventually it just is going to be lost. So everybody should cash in now while they can.
Yeah.
Keep it interesting.
Are they going to fight Conor?
So also, I think here's the thing: if he beats Tyron Woodley, he gets the Conor fight. I don't know. Conor's got money he can make in the UFC right now. He can do some things in the UFC. He's still got a contract with Dana right now, so he would have to negotiate with Dana. So we'll see. Like, obviously, that's where the money is for anybody. It's either Mayweather or Conor. That's where the big money is for anybody in this middleweight world. And if they can make those happen, they can get the paydays. So, and for Conor to step out into a spectacle event of his own away from UFC, I feel like he still thinks he has a little something to prove there. But if he loses one or two more, I think you certainly see him step into some of these kind of fights, you know, a year or so from now, or a year or two from now. But who knows? Who knows? But that's why it's interesting, because you don't know. You don't know where it's headed. You don't know what the obvious booking is, because we're not talking about a promotion or ranking or anything. We're talking about these random spectacle exhibition style fights. So it could be anybody. You know, you can get famous actors and celebrities in there who think they've got something. You could dust off a CM Punk. Like, this is what CM Punk should have done instead of going to the UFC. He should have fought a Paul brother.
Yeah, he should have fought Jose Canseco.
Yeah, something else like that. That would have been a wiser choice for him. But CM Punk, you know, Tyron's people are in that camp too, and they say CM Punk still goes and takes it seriously and still trains. I mean, amazing to me. There's no reason to do it, but just actually loves MMA. So he's still trying to get better and might fight again too.
He should be fighting in Bellator on the undercard and just build up a solid record over the next 10 years and then show up at WrestleMania.
Yeah. You mean do it like real professional athletes do?
I mean, maybe.
At his age.
I mean, he could also be writing comic books. I guess that's also cool.
That is very cool. So I want to send a happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all of the new dads in wrestling, especially our friends Cody and Brandy. So happy Father's Day, Cody, on the birth of your newborn there. Welcome to team half and half. I'm on that team. I can say that. All right. Renee and John had their kid, right? I'm sorry. Renee had her kid.
That was funny.
That John's not a part of that anymore. Like, John just donated to the cause and then he's out of the picture.
Moxley got Benoit. That's like when in the history books, it's like HBK and Triple H lost the main event of WrestleMania 1 year. There's no.
It's amazing.
That's it.
Like, does he at least get an asterisk or something? Like, anyway, yeah, Renee Paquette and John Moxley there, and who's the other one? Oh, Seth and Becky had theirs too, didn't they?
They did. That was a little bit ago, I think. I don't know.
Yeah,
it was a little bit ago, and Becky is supposedly back at the Performance Center training.
But think about it. All three of them, not that far apart. That's a whole lot of second/third generation wrestle babies there. They might end up being a team one of these days.
Wait, what were they all doing around 9 months ago?
Apparently, they all went to a key party and a bunch of wrestlers swapping keys there and ended up with some babies. So who knows?
That reminds me of one of my favorite stories of baby making reminds me of one of my favorite stories from a show we worked on where one of the guys we were working with him and his wife became parents again when we were there, and it was really cool. They told us the story of how the baby was conceived. They were all out at a bar one time and they got a wet toe from one of their friends. And they wrote in their car while it was being towed. And that's where the baby was made. It's fun. It's fun to have a story. And then you tell your kid
that tow truck show?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's like that girl that I dated who's named Tequila. Because that's what her parents were drinking that night. And then her brother's name is Perrier. Because that's when they were on the wagon. It's sad that that's true. Anyway, happy Father's Day to all the wrestling dads out there in the world. You know, and I think it's going to be interesting. Heard reports that Karrion Kross was over at SmackDown. I didn't watch it though. Did he actually show up? Do we know?
No, he did not show up, but they have the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view coming up, which makes it weird. They did a Hell in a Cell match on SmackDown.
Yeah. But cool that he's over there. I think that's a good sign for him. That, I mean, even if he just wanted to show up himself, maybe it was just a trip to a recreational trip, but same time,
or maybe grooming him, showing him the ropes, or showing him, or doing pre-tapes or whatever, or getting him fits or whatever.
Or it could just be a meeting, and that's because that's where everyone's going to be. Maybe he was meeting with the brass. Maybe he was meeting with the office.
It doesn't make sense with the booking, except when you look at NXT has sent up their champ to the big shows strong.
Yeah,
in the past, and I think that makes sense.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what it means. Or maybe it means nothing. But I think it's cool that he's been there, and he, anytime SmackDown would go through town too back in the day, he would always go, even if he was in a different promotion and whatnot.
Yeah.
When he was in Impact, he would show up and just watch as a fan. He's always been invested in that product on a certain level, which is cool for him, especially with where he's at right now, that he's a champion for that company. He's always liked their product and respected them to a certain extent. So maybe he just went to watch, maybe we just went to hang out. So, hey, let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back and we're going to talk a little bit about...
Real quick. That is something to say.
I want to talk about NXT,
but... Yeah, I just want to say, this is something that Triple H is on top of the wrestling world, blah, blah, blah. And as Bret Hart famously explains, he's the most mediocre main eventer of all time, Triple H. However, he is no pun intended, an extreme student of the game, and he would put that effort in. He would put that effort in to figure out, the entrances and that part of the presentation makes a big deal. And so then he would do work that no one else did.
It's
in
part
developing
of it, man.
That and all that stuff. And you see that stuff with Cross, which is great. Also, Cross can just crush a man's skull with one hand. So that also helps.
All right, everybody. So don't forget to watch Fresh, Fried, and Crispy. Don't forget to eat like a luchador. And right now, let's send it over to our good friend, our good and awesome friend who has the best social media presence on the Twitter sphere, Denise Salcedo, over in Lucha Central to find out everything that's happening this week on the Lucha Central Podcast Network.
Hey, Meef, did you hear?
What's that, Byron?
There is a brand new cookbook out called Eat Like a Luchador by the Legends of Lucha Libre. Did you hear about that?
I have heard about it. I may even make an appearance. I am just super stoked because I think they only illustrated 17, and the fact that I'm illustrated is just mental. The fact that I'm in the book is mental, and I think Phoenix is the one after me. So when people are skipping to Phoenix, they're going to see some chubby guy who works in a supermarket in the middle of a cookbook for superstars of the world of wrestling, which is just crazy. Super Astra has put his recipe for his world famous torta.
Taya Valkyrie, who you are seeing now star on NXT as Frankie Monet.
Ray Phoenix. I believe Pentagon is in there as well.
Penta is in it as well.
Damien Says.
WWE Hall of Famer Amy Dumas, who you may know as Lita, is in it.
Yes, quite a lot of the old legends from our youth from WCW and AAA and CLMLL.
I definitely want to make Penta's whatever meal he made, just because I'm a super fan of his for so long. If his food can get me anywhere near 1/1000th as badass as he is, I need to start training and eating his recipe and only his recipe. Yeah. That's actually, I should get going. I need to buy some ingredients. From the ring to the kitchen, this book celebrates Lucha Libre with popular Mexican dishes, offering a modern twist from iconic athletes. That's where Meatloaf comes in. Legends and superstars.
Solar's in the Super Astro.
Yeah, this one-of-a-kind cookbook for wrestling fans and aspiring chefs, now available for booksellers everywhere. It's really cool. Meef, you're telling me where you're finding it.
Yeah, so amazingly, it's actually on, not surprisingly on Amazon, but Waterstones are carrying, and a lot of the independent online retailers for books are also carrying in the UK and Europe.
Yeah, in the States, you can go to bookshop.org and support local. Buy the book, Eat Like a Luchador, on shelves, on digital shelves. Buy it now.
Take care, guys. Buy the book.
Hey everyone, it's Denise Salcedo here in Lucha Central with a reminder of where and when to catch all of the great network content this week. Get the full lineup and listen to all of our shows in the podcast network section of luchacentral.com. Sundays on the Lucha Central Facebook page, world-traveled shooter of the camera kind, Jerry Villagrana goes mano a mano with a fellow photographer to throw down about some of their favorite photos they have taken at Lucha Libre events. Monday, Business of the Business returns as Mass Republic President Kevin Kleinrock takes you inside how your favorite Lucha Libre merchandise gets made. On Tuesdays, Mass Mats and Mayhem takes you inside the world of Lucha Underground as they take you weekly through the series with the benefit of hindsight and the benefit of special guests from the groundbreaking series. Check out the premiere video stream every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on the Lucha Central YouTube channel and at luchacentral.com. Then listen to it on your favorite podcast platform every Wednesday. Tuesday nights live, it's Wrestle Boss, where Fabi Chulo talks MMA and pro wrestling with special guests and listener call-ins. Visit WrestleBossLive.com Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific to listen live or call in with questions or download the show on podcast platforms on Wednesdays. Wednesday nights live on Facebook, it's Spanish show La Mesa de los Márgaros, giving you both the news and the chisme from around the lucha world. Special guests and a whole lot of fun make it one of the most talked about shows in Mexico. Thursdays, it's Straight Out of the Bodega with Papo Esco and PWR promoter Gabriel Ramirez as they have guests from throughout the wrestling world pull up to give an inside look into their careers. From indie standouts to television superstars, each week brings a new name and perspective. On Friday, it's your double dose of Lucha Central Weekly podcast, one in English y el otro en español. Lucha Central Weekly is where you'll find all the top stories of the week, both inside and out of the ring from Mexico and anywhere luchadores are in action across the globe. Be sure to subscribe and follow all your favorite Lucha Central Network series on your favorite podcast platforms, either by their own series name or subscribe to the Lucha Central Podcast Network show pages to get all of the shows in one easy feed. And please consider giving a rating to help more fans find the shows that you love. For now, this is Denise Salcedo signing off from Lucha Central. Have a great week.
And we're back. I want to talk about NXT. NXT was very interesting this week with a little
I enjoyed it.
Samoa Glow. So
I gotta tell you,
are you crying,
yeah, sure.
Mr. Regal? Sorry,
a lot of stuff happened, but yeah, the biggest thing in wrestling this week was not Roman Reigns having a cage match for a belt versus Rey Mysterio. Gee, I wonder how that match is going to go. It was Regal.
Clearly, Rey's going to win by smashing Roman's face open, who's going to bleed hard way from the cage, and he's going to be the new champion. Because that's what you're selling when you sell a match like that. That's what's supposed to happen, God damn it.
But it was Regal's announcement. It's Regal's the most respected person on camera in the business. And then you have Cross coming out. We said
last week that we thought it was going to be Joe that showed up. Mm-hmm. And it was Joe that showed up because it wasn't really that well kept a secret. But yeah, to have Regal come out and do the segment at the beginning, I love the way that Regal kind of improvises. Like you can tell he's going off the script for a second, but then he purposely does these weird hesitations that you don't know whose line it's supposed to be. And like it kind of, it looks a little bit like a promo botch, but the way that Regal sells it, it makes it feel more real a lot of times. But I liked his little face off with Cross to start the show off. And I loved the, "Are you crying, Mr. Regal?" I like it when Cross does that sadistic psycho killer thing. Yeah. It's so much better. And then by the end of the promo, he's yelling and growling. But even that was more palatable when he starts off as the more subtle version of the psycho. I love that.
It's great. And then also he got punked out. He got punked out by Joe. You know, that's good storytelling because now you're having a back and forth and he gets to show a little bit of a different side. And then now you're interested in what he's going to do next. It was good, and he's a heel champ.
Yeah. Now,
I could see
the handshake of Joe coming in was a little weird, but when Joe Joe hits the ring, and they're doing the pass off of like, yeah, this is the guy that was sent in, and and they did a little bit of that at Impact, this week as well, which we can talk about. But the whole thing of Joe's the enforcer, and it is funny because basically Impact is doing the exact same storyline with Tommy Dreamer. I don't know if you saw this or not, but Tommy, the Anthem was sending someone down to rectify the situation with Sammy being fired, and and Tommy comes out to talk to them, and and tries to act like it's going to be Scott that's fired, and of course it's not, and it's Tommy telling Don Callis that he's fired and Sammy's reinstated, and Sammy has his match with Kenny and this, that, and the other thing. So they're doing a very similar angle, though. It's weird now that they're basically making, which I think is going to be good for Impact, like make Dreamer the corporate guy. Yeah. Keep Scott off camera. Dreamer can cut a better promo. He can be the representative of Anthem. Anthem's butt boy. The locker room can kind of turn on him a little bit now that he's being the office or whatever. I think they can have some fun with it. Yeah. And then it also gives Callis a reason to get out of there and go and do whatever it is that Callis is going to do.
Yeah, they had to write Callis off TV because he's an AEW talent now.
So, and I think that is also part of the thing with Joe is this gives Regal some outs. It gives them some ability to do other Regal where they're not tied to him being all the backstage story. They do a couple of weeks of this enforcer gimmick, and then they can, have it just be Joe without Regal there, or vice versa, without having to name Joe as the GM. And then maybe they can, even though, they said that the stipulations of Joe being there were that he could be a competitor and that he can't put his hands on anyone unless he's provoked.
Yeah. But I love that.
But when he gets to what are you still doing what are you still doing in this ring, TikTok young champion? That was fire. And even Cross, I almost thought I saw Cross break for a minute. Like, I think he wanted to high five Joe when he hit him with that.
He almost marked out.
He'd almost marked out for it too. You could see it in his face, like, oh shit, that was hot. I'm gonna just crawl out of this. Like, he had to look over at Scarlett for a second, like, oh shit, that was good. That was fun stuff, man. And I'd love to see a one-time only Joe and Cross thing at some point if Joe is physically up to it.
That's Like, you look at we've been trying to figure out, we've been thirsty for an actual program opponent for Cross in NXT. And this is the best one in WWE probably right now at his level, and that he can, grow from. Like, going toe to toe with Joe in promos is going to make you elevate your game.
Well, this is where you have to go, because the storyline coming out of the pay-per-view is Cross conquers all. Mm-hmm. So who's the next likely opponent? And Vince McMahon has always done this. The next opponent for Cross is The Office. This is how they made Stone Cold. This is part of how they made The Rock after Rock turned. Yeah. Is either to become part of The Office, like The Rock did originally in his heel turn, or to be against The Office, like, Stone Cold was, and even Undertaker at times, and other people were with Vince. Like, that's a sign of respect. Like, Cross's nemesis right now is the entire promotion and not any one competitor. That's a big deal. So a little bit about some of the other stuff on there. Imperium buried Breeze or Fandango, one of those guys. That was a straight burial.
I like and then there's but their time is definitely up. Their time is up. They're not doing any their personality gimmick, and they're trying to do more straight wrestling.
They'll have to cycle it back after a while. But I think what you're seeing now is, and they're just going to cycle around with a lot of these guys. They'll cycle them back in at some point and probably try to freshen it up. But right now, I love seeing that it's Thatcher and Ciampa. Mm-hmm. And I feel like whatever the new wave of things going on at NXT is going to actually reward these guys, because they've got good smart mark credibility, and they get a lot of good internet reaction. though they're not like the most over guys in the world. They're not selling a shit ton of merchandise, though, that I heard their merch sales are up since they teamed up. So, and I think those numbers and everything after WrestleMania, when you start looking at more of the finer points of what's going on, like I don't think anybody was looking at that stuff. They were all looking at the big level, the high level stuff. Yeah. And now you're going back and you're looking at specifically like, okay, we let NXT go for a minute. How do we refresh this? How do we get this back to someplace where we like? And all of a sudden it's like, oh, while we were all fucking around, Ciampa and Thatcher were actually making some little moves here. Like people are actually slowly responding to it. And it's a solid gimmick that they haven't messed up too bad yet. Yeah. So they can put a little something on it. So you see them in this headlining Texas Tornado match this week with the
so much fun.
Grizzled young veterans, just fun.
And the veterans were super fun too.
Well, especially when they got guys like this to go with.
They do the suicide dive doomsday device on the guy with the bad neck.
Ridiculous.
Oh, that's why I think Cross doesn't do that homicidal 2-hand choke slam on the apron unless he's doing it against one of the DIY guys, because it's the DIY guys who are like, hey, why don't you attempt to murder me? I'll kick out at 2.
Right. But you know what? I also don't mind Imperium being in this mix with these guys. I think those 3 teams in general and MSK. I think MSK is going to match up good with them and Legado. I think with those 4 or 5 teams are there, you've got a really good division that you can do some stuff with. And I'd love to see them strap up Thatcher and Ciampa for a while. I think that would be cool if MSK was going to drop to those guys and they had a feud with MSK for a little bit and throw in Imperium and Legado into the mix as well. I think that could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, they've done a sneaky job of it, but they really curated a good and dynamic and interesting tag team division in NXT all of a sudden. It's not like you have the Bucks and you have whatever AEW tag teams that are like much bigger indie names, but everyone's fun. Even Thatcher, Ciampa, it's like 2 boring cardboard box dudes. And they're some of the most fun guys because they're just going out there being grumpy and fighting, and you kind of like that.
I mean, even the ring entrance thing, though, where Ciampa's pulling apart Thatcher's mouth and you're seeing Toothless Timmy, like, it's just like, how is that not entertaining? That's great stuff.
Yeah, it's remarkable. And Legado, like those guys, they're doing a great job.
I'm really starting to like those guys, man. I'm really starting to like those guys, and I hope they don't break Escobar off from them. Because I could see him going up and leaving those guys behind. That would be regrettable in my opinion.
Right.
I'm starting to really like them, and I feel like without him they'll get buried, and they're getting some great opportunities now because of him, because they can anchor stuff off of him to them, which works. And I think that Swerve's faction is going to be fighting next week, and that's going to be interesting too, because I think that him having a faction is going to actually help him a lot, because he's going to get FaceTime from them doing that, and that makes him look more like the baller that he actually is. So hopefully that gimmick pays out. What'd you think of Blake Christian's debut? Did you ever see Blake on the Indies? Like I saw him once or twice, and he was really good. Or what are they calling him now? Let me look at my notes. Hold on. Oh, Trey Baxter is his new.
Right.
They brought a Trey into NXT, maybe because MSK left the other Trey behind. Whoops. Dirty.
Right, I think that's definitely, if they did that.
And look, Blake Christian's a better high flyer than Trey Miguel. I don't care what you say.
I don't know. I like Trey Miguel, but also like Impact seems to be building up a lot of junior swerves. No offense, but it just kind of But I like Trey Miguel. I like what he's doing. Keep doing it, that is. I kind of do like it. I do kind of like the shows taking those types of shots, like the Virgil and the Vincent naming stuff. Like it's petty, but come on, totally it's petty. Wrestling. Let's have some fun.
It is, but I mean, I swear to God, that's where he got the name. I don't know. It's funny to me, but what'd you think of his debut in a cruiserweight title match against Kushida? Blake Christian. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's so hard for me when people switch to these WWE names. I'm just so used to him being Blake Christian, but Trey Baxter.
It's good to call him his old name.
Well, now you know. Now you guys know who we're talking about. But a lot of people don't know him. You know, he did a lot of stuff on the West Coast. He did PWG. I know he did. You know, he would come through a lot of the indies, and he was always an early card guy. But the reaction that he was getting everywhere he went. And the kid's only 24. You know, but he's a high flyer, and he's got a very unique moveset and a lot of original stuff too. You know, and I've seen this guy early in the day before matches walking through something with some other guy. And like, he was mentoring some guys that were older than him sometimes when he would come and do a match. Like, his chain wrestling was on point. His high spot stuff was on point. Like, there's a reason why he's 24 and he got into WWE and he's wrestling for the cruiserweight title. There's a reason for it. I mean, like, he was showing out on the indies and getting, you know, crowds that knew nothing about him invested in his storylines and his matches. You know, he had that charisma. That's the perfect opponent. It's a shame that it's already a one and done, but that's the perfect opponent for Kushida, because he's more of a competitor based performer. And so someone coming out and giving Kushida a 2-segment, 20-minute match, whatever it is, and then tapping out is great. That's what you need to get Kushida over and continue his thing. So I think he's great for that. I mean, he came out as just another generic character. The name is pretty generic. Nothing really stood out to me aside from, you know, as the match goes on, you pay attention to it more, like, oh, this is fun. This is good. Don't think he's going to win. But yeah, as someone you plug into that spot on the show, I thought he was very effective. Now, so going back to the main storyline from this episode, the Samoa Joe thing. Here's a note to wrestlers. In wrestling, there are these things known as receipts. Yes. You do something to some person, and then it is common knowledge that the other people are allowed to get one back on you. Yeah. Now, when the two people that have an issue, and one of them is probably owed a receipt from the other one, happen to be maybe, I don't know, your champion and your former longest time champion ever. Sometimes the office likes to take care of the receipt so that there's that is 100% the reason why Adam Cole is the person who was choked out by Samoa Joe on national television instead of who it should have been, which is Kyle O'Reilly. I saw that as he's a professional and they're friends. So there's none of that. Adam Cole volunteered to do that piece of business. Come on, Byron. But I think that was the way to get Joe over the most. No, that was reality coming into storyline and playing it up because of whatever real kerfluffle was going on, where the real chaos was happening that Regal has put into storyline. There was a little bit of real chaos. I don't think it was nearly that kind of heated stuff. It was more like a backstage, dude, what the fuck, bro? What's going on? Why are you throwing water bottles at people? And I think that this was the receipt for it. Like, you threw your water bottle, just like, Shayna had to take a couple kicks to the teeth. These things happen. Yeah, but also, like, I mean, I get Cole having, an idea of like the new guy coming in and wanting to protect a spot. I get that. And, kind of calling out Cross and seeing if Cross can step accident up to throwing the water bottle. This is but the water bottle thing, I think that's a very easy backstage, like, hey man, I didn't it got away from me. That's my bad. You can be mad about it, but like, just like, my bad, like, I don't see why that part of it had to go that much further, It's only because. But then again, I'm not in a locker room. If it was just Cross in the ring, it would have been a different story. But his girl was in there too. That's a different thing. That's a different level of alpha male that's going to come out from that. Yeah, but I mean, I'm a fan of Cole's and stuff, and I get where he's coming from on the other stuff, but I don't know why he didn't squash the water bottle right away. I'm going to go with the theory that this was a corporate check that was cashed on Cole's ass. I think this was a receipt for services rendered. Yeah, that's my theory, and I'm going with it. I don't know that there's any 100% truth to it, but I feel like that's probably what happened because those things happen a lot more often than people think. Never let the truth get in the way of a good story, as they say over on Conan's show there. Yeah.
Well, that's what I heard happen too. So
Yeah, we're
let's
going
run
with that then.
What else happened?
Not much else happened
Oh.
over there. There was he also broke up some of the oh my god, Casey Cannizzaro and
they're so bad.
Here's the thing. They want to work this high work rate and they want to do a spot monkey thing. That's like the gimmick. And they're expecting the crowd to pop for this work rate. If they were doing these kind of spots on an indie show, where people were expecting people to be a little greener, it'd be okay. But they're not crisp. Raquel had some issues going into some of the moves because she's so much bigger. Her power spots were good. And Dakota Kai, God bless her soul, she's like jumping into the moves to try to help them sell it. But some of it was so slow motion, trying to pass itself off as this high speed thing. I'm just like, can we slow it down? Just slow it down. Do half the amount of spots that were in that match, please.
Yeah. Also, like, and I thought the exact opposite. Yeah. I was going to say they're exact opposite. Oh, we both paused and talked at the same time again.
Wow. Amazing.
We're right in sync.
Go ahead, Mike. No, you go.
Cool. Yeah, I'm just going to interrupt again anyway. No, they're the exact opposite of a Randy Orton match, where Randy Orton does like a few things that are not super flashy, but what he does the best is all those things in between the moves.
Yeah.
And they don't do any of that. It's like there was
no in between the moves. And they had a storyline. They had little storylines built in there, physically and script wise, that they could be playing with. And I thought Cannizzaro looked better than she has in a lot of these other ones. Like, I thought she actually hit some of the moves, but a lot of it just still feels clunky. And it reminds me, Casey and Katie remind me of Fire and Flava, and Kira and Tasha.
I think they're better. Well, of course they're better.
Right, but I'm just saying they're all representing themselves not quite at the level that they should be, which is fine. They've got their spots, but somebody in the back, like, look, oh my God, who would agent that many spots into a match with these people? Like, who was signing off on that match layout in the back? Because it was all very laid out. It wasn't, there was nothing that was called on the fly in that match. Not one thing. And those are a lot of complicated spots, which means those girls worked on that whole sequence all week, guaranteed. That was too many spots, and it wasn't called on the fly. It wouldn't have been safe for them to call it on the fly. But God bless Dakota Kai, because she was the best. Maybe it was Road Dogg. I enjoyed her. Maybe
Road Dogg.
Oh, you didn't know?
We need another Tope Conrana here. I'm not hard double G something. Lord.
The D-O-double-G says. Anyway, so I want to give one more shout out. It is Pride Month, and I want to give a shout out to our boy Fred Rosser. What's going on with Fred, Byron?
Fred has been a regular appearance on New Japan Strong since during the COVID thing, and we talked to him about that shortly after he started. He had a bunch of great matches with Tom Lawler at the time that we talked to him, and I definitely recommend checking out the interview and hearing what he has to say about that and about his acting debut in show on Broadway on Demand. But he just got signed to New Japan as an actual performer, as a regular performer. He's contracted to New Japan. Hopefully we'll see him in Japan. They're going through some more COVID stuff, but they're beginning to lax them for the Olympics, good or bad. But hopefully that means we'll see the Suntan Superman in Korakuen Hall and Tokyo Dome and all those places soon enough.
Fred Rosser, aka Darren Young. Yes. Congratulations, brother. Appreciate you. No. Yeah, I don't know. Call him whatever you want to call him.
That's his hashtag.
What's he gonna do? Kick your ass?
I would like that to not happen. But He's a nice guy, but he's also like 3 times.
I would like for that to happen. Yeah.
Why?
Dude is yoked.
I don't want him to fight me.
I like violence against you.
Well,
it's good for me.
That happens every day in life.
Yeah.
As a metaphor.
Anyway, let's take a quick break because I'm really excited to talk about one of my favorite matches in Lucha Underground history. Not my favorite match, but probably in the top 10. Graver Consequences. Our second appearance of the Coffins at ringside in Lucha Underground is this week on our Lucha Underground Rewind. So come back right after this, and we're going to tell you all about it.
Lucha-masks.com, in partnership with Mask Republic, give you personal protective masks to keep you Lucha strong in the fight versus COVID-19. With world-class luchadors Blue Demon Jr., the Lucha Brothers, LA Park, Ultimo Dragon, Cain Velasquez, Conan, and so much more. Head to lucha-masks.com and you too can become a masked warrior. Lucha-masks.com, powered by Pro Wrestling Revolution.
Freshness of the salmon is what really brings you in. It's saying you just bit into something magnificent. I started doing food reviews in my car around 2009, and then my life changed. I'll go just about anywhere to get some good food. I'm only here for one reason and one reason only. That is to devour. That's looking real good right there. Every bite has to be an experience, and I'm gonna take you for that experience. You too. I'm the captain now. You know I'm not leaving until I tell you what my favorite fried food in the city is. It hits all the spots. What I'm looking for is some good chicken and waffles.
Let me tell you about this chicken.
Mommy, chicken dry?
It's dry, we don't want it.
So you talking juicy, juicy?
It's got to be juicy.
Is this what you do?
I mean, this is what we do.
Boom, boom, all over the place. Boom, boom, in my face.
It's the most decadent burger that we have ever made. Starts with 1 pound of Wagyu on there, truffle cheese, gold, billionaire bacon on top, big lobster, gold dusted bun. It is the best burger you will ever have.
Me and the burger are having a moment.
All right, enjoy your burger.
All I need for you to do for me is keep it crispy. I had to kiss it. Just give me a moment. I have moments with my food.
I love you, man.
This is fresh, fried, and crispy. You wanna know why I call it a hush puppy? Did you hear me say anything while I was chewing it? Hush puppy.
Anyway, and we're back.
Oh.
Byron, can we be back? I want to be back now.
I mean, the thing is, early on when I started producing and editing, as like when I shoot and edit stuff, I notice and I like to trim, repeat audio things, sound bites. Like when I'm shooting OTFs, which is like just narrative sound bites to tie together episodes of my past shows. My talent would start everything with like, so, and then he'd get into what's going on. And I'm like, I'd throw the camera on the ground as hard as I could. And I would say, stop saying so every single goddamn time. There's that, all these things. And so when I do this one,
it's this thing of
every time we come back from a break, you started saying, and we're back. And I'm like, okay, so this is becoming a bit repetitive. Maybe we can
It's not
cut
repetitive.
it down.
Okay, what do you want me to say instead?
And now, since I requested...
Here we go. I got a new one for you. We're going to just do this instead.
Since I requested
Listen up, sweet cheeks.
That's the new intro. I'm going to cut that
into
into the
when
intro
we're back.
now.
You'll know when we're back when I say,
cheeks,
listen up, sweet cheeks. This is MMM Show, and we're back.
That's good. Oh, I think we're going to be put on some sort of Twitter list with that.
Does it mess it up if I say and we're back at the end of it?
It's just now it's become a staple of the show. Now it's like our show gimmick to say and we're back.
Well, it's not anymore. It's not anymore.
We're going to do it.
We're going to do it right now. We're going to do it right now.
Instead of going away, a permanent thing.
No, it's fine. We're going to fix it right now. We're going to fix it right now.
It helps
this
me
is how we
when
do
I
it.
Edit now.
In 3, 2, 1. Listen up, sweet cheeks. We're going to talk about our Lucha Underground Rewind this week. It's season 2, episode 16, Graver Consequences. You know what the best thing about this entire episode is, Byron?
That Kevin's lawyer's getting a new batch of emails now.
Maybe.
This episode features not only a heavyweight match gimmick, but also it had a concurrently running movie during the whole thing, which was awesome.
It did, but I'm going to tell you my favorite thing about this whole episode.
What is that?
Whatever Katrina wore to the ring in this episode was my favorite of every variation and combination of her outfits. Now she wears these pants other times, but I don't think that this top and the bra set or whatever she was doing, she looked absolutely 130 million% gorgeous. This is the best she's ever looked on that show, in my opinion.
Well, people come to the MMM show for fashion advice, and we give a rare but enthusiastic 4 thumbs up to this fit.
Well, I'm just saying she is hot. Carly would be proud of it. Carly, thank you. That was a good job. That was good stuff. And luckily for her, they didn't put Carmen in any segments in this episode because that might have swayed my opinion. But Carmen's not this one. Hi, Carmen. I hope everything's going good. Carmen got good work this week too. She was traveling and working and doing stuff.
She's a working actor doing
good for you, Carmen.
Also, Carly has some
in foreign countries where she doesn't speak the language. What's Carly got coming up?
I don't know, but she has a show coming up and she's doing a couple of conferences. So just go to her social media and look it up. Congratulations,
Carly,
to her for whatever it is.
I've heard that Carly is doing a lot of stuff these days.
She's hustling. It's good.
She is hustling. I'd love to see her back in a ring, man. That'd be cool if she would show up. Like, maybe not like in Maxine wrestling ring, but like, you know, just show up at an event or something. Like, I don't know how she feels about wrestling these days, though. She might be over it and just on to modeling and acting and voice work. Who knows?
It's hard to build momentum in that genre. So once you get it, it's hard to throw away.
Anyway, so there is kind of a running movie, and it starts off with Councilman Delgado and Dario in this underground bar set, which I think they used for this and for the Taya Perfect Woman thing. There are 2 things they got used for, right?
Oh, this is really cool.
Wherever this location is, I think they shot
the reveal of Dario.
They did a little Goodfellas action there with the a little bit of it, not quite the full Scorsese, but it was fun.
But that's also that's how you do a Dario reveal. It's not like what was. I don't need to get into it. But
here's the thing, and the reason why this scene's so good is because there's a lot of little finer points, and you can get that when you can actually give people real lines and real scripts because you have 2 actors.
Yes.
You got Lorenzo and you got Luis and you've got guys who can actually, memorize lines and act. Yeah. And it was great. It comes off perfectly. So, the finer point, the plot points that you're getting here is that now Dario is being let in on the fact that the police have an investigation going on him. But that the temple is important to the councilman's employer, whoever that may be. And his employer's been waiting a long time. And then we also find that apparently the employer may be making a stop at the temple sometime in the near future because Matanza is apparently not the only one that gets to have some fun. So
also,
watching this fun back then,
what are they talking about?
Yeah, we don't know because we don't know that anyone is a god yet. We don't know the level of what Matanza is by this point. So this is kind of the start of, we're getting into these higher powers and whatnot. And you can tell even when you get to the last vignette, which we'll talk about a little bit, that this is deliberate story writing, that the writers know where this is going at this point, but the audience does not. So we're actually starting to do real storytelling and writing with beginning, middle, and end here. First match up is and there's a lot of fun stuff with the drink up thing and the Dario ordering a cerveza and Delgado saying no, we're drinking whiskey, and then you're buying mine. There was just a lot of fun little nuanced stuff in there that you wouldn't normally get from a wrestling program.
Yeah.
Hopefully Azteca Underground, if they're going to do a full show at any point in time, we'll start looking at some of the stuff like that and nuanced storytelling and not just wrestlers yelling at each other to set up fights, because it's important. It's part of why Lucha Underground worked.
Mm-hmm.
Medallion match: Mr. Cisco versus Cortez Castro. Cortez Castro. Yeah.
At some point, Striker says
And
Cortez Castro is the best
Penis
wrestler
guy.
in the ring. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, because it's one of his New York boys. Striker's always going to put over his fucking guys who wrestled local indies in New York.
I respect that. I would want to
He
put
loves
over
those
Cholo.
guys.
So I respect that.
Yeah, but but Cholo was our local wrestler, not Striker's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm totally choking on food.
No, that's cool. Eating food is fine. What's happening to your face? Was that the
I'm
pain you're
joking.
coughing
I'm
and then
dying.
you're...
I'm dying. Byron,
Should I give you the one?
You should. I'm practicing for Transfer 7, Byron.
We've
No, I
put
can't
that
practice
clip
for
on the
Transfer
show.
7.
We put that clip on the show like 10 times, and I'm pretty
Have
sure
we?
no one's still gonna know.
It's fine.
You
People
know,
are still
I-
like,
I-
"What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
I'm not even
I
gonna
don't know.
tell people what that reference is to anymore. Anyway, so we've got this match with basically the new crew, which is Cisco, Cortez Castro, and Penis Guy, all have to wrestle against each other because this is the kind of thing that Dario does to people.
Mhm.
And it's a pretty quick, short match. Penis Guy wins by sneaking in for a roll up on Ricky Reyes there, Cortez Castro, and uses the medallion as a cock ring or something. I don't know. He puts it in his pants.
Very, very not professional.
I mean, is this a Joey lobbying to do that, or maybe he just went into business? I don't know.
You know,
Like they weren't
they
giving him
showed
enough of
him
his
doing
penis gimmick
the-
that he was doing on the indies.
They showed him doing the baby oil in the tights, right? He just didn't do any of the
Yes.
spots.
No, he did no boob plexes. He did no penis plexes. None of that crap,
Yeah.
which is good. I'm happy that the majority of times I've seen him wrestle were in Lucha Underground, and they did not involve a lot of those spots. Though I've seen him do those spots, the perv spots, as I like to call them. Anyway, so he gets the win, and he gets a medallion here, and the rest of the crew can just be unhappy about it. Vignette number 2, Katrina tells Mill that she has been waiting for this moment for how long? 197 years.
It's weird. That's what I heard on MVP's podcast too.
Hmm.
But like a few months earlier.
Yeah, quite a bit earlier. Dumbass. For those who don't know, MVP let some storyline spoilers slip on a podcast and got fired basically from Lucha Underground, or asked to retire, which led to a big kerfluffle because up until that point, he had been an agent at the show and been agenting all of Ricky Reyes' matches. So
He was doing a good job, and he was going to be a character on the show too.
Yeah, they had some plans for him, and some things went awry. Which I guess if you look at where he's at right now, it's probably a good thing, because I think it's part of what gave him the drive and determination to learn how to make the office happy, and to learn how to, be excited about his own career again. I think it actually rejuvenated him getting fired from Lucha Underground. Anyway, so you got this vignette. She says she's been waiting for 197 years. So now we know Katrina is, and that's 197 years of being trapped in this ghost form. So she's even older than that. Everyone says, oh, well, her character is 197 years old. No, she's been waiting 197 years. So she could be, 216 years old or whatever. But that's how long she's been a prisoner of darkness. And she talks about how Mill has roamed the underworld for weeks as a man, and then she freed him from the grips of death and made him more powerful. And that locking him in a coffin the first time was part of her plan. Like, she wanted him to lose so she could revive him stronger. And that was part of the plan. But tonight, that's not the plan. Pascual Mendoza. She wants Pascual Mendoza to watch her lick the face of a god, and that somehow will make them immortal. And of course,
she's been trying to get out of her
hiding.
thing.
Who's been trying to get out of her thing?
She's been trying to get out of her thing, right? That's why she's going.
She's
going to Phoenix.
Yeah, she's trying to get out of her her contract with death. Oh, her curse. Yes. But that's what she's saying. So what we're getting from this is that she believes that the lick of death on Matanza, who has some kind of power, will actually help free her and Mil Muertes forever into immortality.
Yeah, there's so many clues in this episode that are more obvious than clues that Matanza is a god.
Yeah, I mean, this is really where we're feeling it. I mean, he's not just some Texas Chainsaw Massacre Leatherface kind of guy, which is what we all thought at first.
Yeah,
but they were going a little more Freddy Krueger than they were going Aztec God.
It is kind of cool to have a wrestler come to the ring with blood all over their gear.
It's kind of fun. I mean, but he was probably backstage punching out windows to practice.
Whoops.
My bad. And then you see Cuerno stalking, hiding in their little altar area afterwards, because now Cuerno is a creeper.
He's Cuerno. On the hunt. The hunt is on to Hizzo.
So, Trios Championship, Ivelisse and Son of Havoc get a new partner, Johnny Mundo, along with Taya. Taya is fire, but I hate the hair in this one. She needs the hat back. And they are facing off against our current Trios champions of Prince Puma, Dragon Azteca Jr., and Rey Mysterio Jr., sometimes not Junior. Right off the bat, Taya and Evie are giving each other looks, which I'm just like, oh yeah, bring this on. Especially at the time. Like, we had just seen Taya in Cage and this, that, and the other thing. Believe it or not, Evie had a high level of respect from the believers at that point in time. Like, Evie was still a bona fide crowd favorite. And Taya, everyone was really impressed with her, but she got the right kind of heel heat. So seeing these two kind of lock eyes on each other right off the bat was like, okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody was into that and buying it right off the bat. And then you've got Evie starting off with Dragon Azteca Jr. in the ring, which is interesting because they chose to do that with Evie, who is probably the weakest link wrestling wise out of everybody who's in this match. And clearly Rey Horus was leading here, but it was kind of fun. It was almost like a little bit of a wrestling school. He's kind of leading her through some chain wrestling and kind of throwing himself into some spots and calling it on the fly with her in Spanish, which was kind of cool. I mean, I liked it. It didn't look great, but I liked that Evie was getting that opportunity at the time and that she was at least trying. She didn't resist any of it. She went along with the flow of the kind of chain wrestling that they were doing. So it was interesting that they started off the match that way. And then we kind of went into the end of the sequence where they're supposed to kip up at the same time, and Evie botches and doesn't make the kip up and then feigns a knee injury. Is that what happened there, or was that legit, Byron?
I don't know. I know it's definitely a worked spot. Otherwise, Rey Horus is pretty new at the time, so I don't know.
But was it a worked spot or was it a worked cover?
Because he went and shook her hand afterwards with sportsmanship.
Hey, wrestling.
And then they did a lot of sportsmanship spots after that until Mundo tagged in. So I thought that was just part of the thing. And then Stryker got to throw the LBIs, which might have been a veiled comment, unfortunately.
When he's talking about lower body injuries, is he talking about that awful crotch bruise that she called a tattoo?
Here's where Casey pops in. This doesn't reflect upon either of the two of us, but this is where Casey pops in and says when Stryker says LBIs, he meant lower body infections.
Correct. UTI. UTI. Anyway,
But, I thought it was worked, but also like I don't know if she was doing kip ups.
I feel like it was a botch that they turned into a work.
Yeah, maybe Ray kind of walked them through it in the moment.
I don't know. I mean, but look, she's in the ring. She's got Ray and Puma and Johnny there, and Ray Oris. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was fun, and then we get Son of Havoc and Ray canceling each other out in a sequence, which is the most that Son of Havoc had ever asked to get put over by Rey Mysterio.
Right?
Amazing. You know, they do a sequence of all just kind of canceling each other out with spots, which was kind of interesting to see him do it. Then you get some Mundo and Puma, which ends with Mundo accidentally kicking Evie. And Ray hitting, we go through a couple segments after that, which is kind of fun. Taya starts to cheat, but then Evie does cheat, and then Evie gets kicked in the head, and it leads to a sequence where Ray gets a 619 on Son of Havoc, and then Puma gets the 630 for the win. Son of Havoc is amazing. He takes the 619 and falls right into the perfect spot for the Puma move. Like, why guys don't fall down initially in the right spot and have to do the crawl across the ring thing, I'll never know. So I will give Son of Havoc absolute credit for just actually taking the bump and falling to the right spot. So he didn't have to butt scoot over to the spot while no one was looking. It's the fucking, I hate shit like that. So you're
well, but the other side of that is the camera should cover that.
Well, it's pretty easy to cover Lucha Underground because they can cut away in the edit, but he actually just did it right off the bat.
Don't cut to the wide sweeping jib shot when a wrestler's actively like scooting to a turnbuckle.
Oh, you mean like what AEW does every week?
Yeah.
It's kind of sad. You know who's very good about not doing that is NXT. They're even better than Raw and SmackDown. They cover their spots pretty dang good these days. That camera department at NXT is doing a really good job.
Yeah.
So then we get our graver consequences here with Mill versus Matanza for the belt. Title match, graver consequences here. And now we have 4 coffins at each side of the ringside. You get a full Day of the Dead procession with stilt walkers and everything. Where were we sitting? I know we were here too, but we didn't go with Casey this time. Is that what happened? He went with Vic, Blood Soup Vic.
I think we were, because he was. We
were sitting somewhere else. Yeah, you see Casey a lot in this episode.
We were, I think, on the other side of the bleachers.
Well, this was back at the point in time where if like J Ray and Casey were going and me and you were going, like we couldn't all go on one reservation anymore because they were doing 4 to a reservation at this point in time, right?
Something
so
like that.
We were getting 2 different reservations, so we probably got a lower ticket number than Casey did.
Yeah,
would be my guess. So we were probably sitting someplace not as cool, but it is what it is. We didn't get the TV time. Casey got all the TV time.
We
didn't have the same amount of juice at Lucha Underground at this point yet.
No, but it's probably safer to be a little bit more removed during a match like this.
Yeah. I mean, dude, they're like 4 seconds into this match before Katrina breaks a chair on Matanza. Like one of those wooden ones.
Dario takes a flip bump off the apron.
Oh, was ridiculous. So you get Katrina breaking this chair on Matanza. Mills spears him through the bowling alley of chairs right after that. You get 3 coffins lined up for a power bomb on Mill. Matanza starts taking off the bottom rope and shit. And then you get a flatliner on all 3 coffins. There's just ridiculous shit right off the bat. You know, Mill picks up Dario on the apron and like collar grabs him. And then he, gets hit from behind and drops Luis. But I don't know what Luis was fucking thinking, but he goes end over end, ass over head. Oh my God, bro. It looked, and there's no shot of what happened. So clearly he got his bell rung doing it. Because I think they would have shown it otherwise. It was not meant to happen. And Luis botched that. But he's also not a wrestler. This is his second bump ever.
Then the first one wasn't that easy either.
No, poor guy. But this is what happens when I don't care if you're an actor or not, you take a part as a wrestling heel manager of any kind, any flavor or variety, you're probably going to bump at some point in time. Matanza starts ripping Mill's mask off. I think that this did not go well, and it's Cobb's fault. The mask rip here was not well done.
Yeah.
Ricky Banderas, Ricky Macias, whatever you want to call him.
You could call them all of them because you see all the gimmicks at once.
Right. Well, he has done these spots before, but he hasn't done a ton of them with the mask. And you've got Cobb, who's never done the mask ripping thing, so basically the mask is supposed to get ripped so that when Ricky goes and blades, you get the blood.
Yeah.
Ricky does that and you don't really get the blood. It's there, but you don't really see it. It doesn't play into the match to the point where he actually starts pulling the hood back together because I think he realized that whole part of this match didn't work. It's the only real fail in the whole match.
It was like, I didn't think he got the gig in that spot. It was a total gig spot. When you rip the mask, you hit someone with a object and then walk away for 2 minutes. They're supposed to be bleeding when you come back, and he wasn't. I thought he just missed it somehow.
No, he was bleeding, but it was up under the other side of the mask. The mask was covering it, and he didn't bleed a lot either. It was just
he bled like later on in the match. Maybe he like recut himself, but Cobb ripped the scalp off the mask, which was not what you're supposed to do.
The eye hole. You're supposed to rip to the side.
Rip the eye hole.
And then you rip to the top a little bit so the blood will actually flow out when you get, anyway.
Yeah.
Plus, Mill's wearing all super dark stuff. The mask is super dark, not the mask for bleeding. And this to me felt like a lot of people who weren't involved with wearing masks or understanding hoods that were agenting and in the match and writing the match.
Yeah.
Including Cobb and Macias and probably Chavo or Vamp, whoever wrote it, because Vamp never wore a mask. He did plenty of stuff in Mexico, so he got the concept of it. But I feel like without having an actual luchador really involved with laying out this match, that's probably why that happened, like an actual masked luchador. Anyway, neither here nor there, because it's otherwise a great match. It's the one kind of botch in the whole thing. So he tries to open up Mill's skull with the ring hook, and gets a choke slam on a coffin for his trouble. So now what are we at? Like 5 or 6 choke slams on real coffins so far?
It's a lot of brutality on the coffins.
They're down to only one coffin that isn't damaged by this point in the match.
Like to the point of like they're totaled. Like if they were a car, they would be totaled.
Yeah, they're gross.
Yeah.
So then Mill puts on a chainmail gauntlet to beat down the monster. And at first we're all like, whoa, what is this? This is super cool. But there is a point to doing this. Matanza gets Mill into a coffin at one point, and then Mill punches through the coffin. And apparently this is the reason for the chainmail, because parts of that, even though it was gimmicked, parts of that coffin were still metal. Like a thinner layer of metal to make the whole thing work, and in case they had done choke slams and stuff. And I believe it was Roach that told me 2 of the coffins were actually gimmicked this way in case something happened and they needed to change the spot up. They were doing this spot no matter what. So 2 of them had this gimmicked top, but it was still metal.
Yeah.
So he had to punch through the gimmick spot all the way through. But it was a dope spot. I loved it. That was cool. And so now you get Katrina taking out Dario again. So his second bump of the match. Then Matanza chair shots Katrina, done totally safe, but I was still like, whoa, wow. And there wasn't like the weird hesitation that you get on a spot where a lady gets hit like you normally do, or the WWE way, where there's like some hesitation and there's a weird thing. And then it's like this kind of soft shot. No, Cobb just comes in there and dunk, gets her in the good shot, and she sold it perfectly. Like they did their job exactly the way we're supposed to. He snags the stone from her, and then he puts her in a coffin. Katrina goes in a coffin, and we're all just like, this is not what we expected to be happening right now.
And he puts the rock in by itself first, the stone, which was, playing all the mysticism in the show.
Yeah, like this was clearly written to go this way. We didn't know what was going on. So and it's funny because during the match, the crowd actually starts getting quiet, but it's not for a lack of interest. It's because we were all like, we don't understand. This is not how anyone thought this was going to go down. There's all these little nuances, and you're sitting there live. There's stuff happening on all four corners of it too. So not everybody can tell what's going on. Like I think where we were, Byron, I couldn't see The Rock going to the coffin. I don't think I knew that happened until TV.
Yeah, that was
we couldn't
side, I think.
Yeah, and we couldn't see Katrina go in either, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that was all over there.
So you start getting these kind of quiet lulls in the audience, but that's because everyone's trying to figure out what's happening.
Yeah.
And then we get the finale sequence where our buddy Mill finally gets this last coffin into the ring, which he had been working on forever and gets edited out for TV quite a bit. But first it got caught on the rope, and then he was kind of gassing, and then he was trying to pull it straight up, but the second rope was in the way. He had to kind of wrench it down and under the ropes because the bottom ring rope is completely off at this point in time. But they show a little bit of it on TV, but not quite as much as there actually was. There was a lot more walking around and people kind of brooding and things that you don't get in the TV version of this match.
Yeah.
It was probably, I think the real life version of this match was literally about 10 minutes longer. Isn't that what Casey said before?
Probably. It's stuff like this. I mean, it's a gimmick match. There's tons of setup time you trim out.
A lot of setup time. Like, you don't even see one of the coffins get drug over when they do the 3 coffin spot early in the match. Like on TV, just all of a sudden there's all 3 coffins are there, or they show the last little second of putting the 3rd coffin into place.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
Anyway, so this final sequence though, Mill gets Matanza in a coffin, but then he gets out, and then Matanza slams Mill on the last undamaged coffin, which I thought was like, okay, well then how are we going to bury anybody? Because it didn't even look like it was going to close. But then he finally gets Mill in there with a Wrath of the Gods into the coffin, which I can't even believe they agented that spot into the match. They did it pretty safe, so they probably had rehearsed it.
Yeah.
But it looked crazy, and those boys were both starting to gas. I mean, they had done a lot of power spots on each other, a lot of big moves. That shit, their muscles were just sucking in oxygen at that point in time.
They are not cardio guys.
No, they can go. But when you do that many power spots, like anybody, like even it happened with Cross at the pay-per-view, he wasn't like gas, but after that first sequence, it was time for Cross to take a break and bump out for a minute.
Yeah.
Because he had done something like 16 suplexes, and one of which was on 2 guys at once. Even if they're midgets, you put 2 of them together, it's still not. I'm sorry, you know what I mean.
Even if it's a wrestling podcast.
Even if they're stupid little assholes. Is that better?
Well, I don't want to say all of them are, but all of the ones that we've ever heard of might be. Brad Williams is dope. He's cool.
Yes. So anyway, we finally get this ending, and then the crowd is booing because at this point in time, everyone thought that, this is Mill's match. Mill is going to win this match. We're going to take the belt off of Matanza. The audience wasn't like hot and cold on Matanza or anything, but this is actually a good heel heat that everyone is booing. They're not booing in a bad way. They're booing like oh my God, you got us. This is not what we expected or wanted to happen, but we're accepting this as like a tragic ending for the audience.
Yeah, well, in this program, this is where you see where a lot of the Lucha Underground style of characters got really harvested, especially in season 2, where it's mostly a traditionally heel company.
Yeah, but 80% heel.
But if you're a badass like Mil Muertes and you just keep kicking ass, and you're good at it, people are going to cheer for you for doing it. They're going to cheer the more badass of the heels who do that. And so he started getting a face turn by that process in this program. And Matanza,
plus Katrina came out in that outfit. Of course I'm cheering for her.
I mean, that's not going to hurt anything.
It hurt me. It hurt my soul.
Well, you should see a doctor about that.
That girl bad, man. The only thing that hurts my soul more, Byron, is Red Velvet's IG. What? It's true.
No, it's just I mean, I understand, but also like she's a star on TV now, so maybe don't do TikToks in your bedroom.
Well, the one today wasn't a TikTok at all. It was just like a straight up thirst trap, bro.
Yeah.
Geared at me.
But maybe, I don't know, maybe like she's still doing customs or selling her own merch, and that's certainly a way to get certain people who wear red baseball caps to want to pay attention and buy stuff from her.
I mean, I think it's more the like DMing me the picture before she even posts it and saying you can't have none. Maybe that's the part that really pisses me off. I don't know.
Oh, I really wish that happened. I really do.
Dude, if that I would we'd be doing the show with me like, Byron, I don't like wrestling anymore.
It's like you get
Red Velvet's just teasing me, man.
It's not a straight up rejection. It's not a fall from where you're at now. It's you get your hopes up from the message being sent in the first place, and then you get dropped from like much higher from like the clouds.
Look, I think very highly of myself. Oh my God, that is the cutest picture. Speaking of IG, I don't know if you can see that, but it's Cody and Brandy's hands and their little baby's hand over there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute.
If you don't like that picture on their IG, then this says a lot about you.
Liberty Iris Runnels. Oh. And Brandy's doing great. That's so adorable. I love everything about that, especially with the black hand and the white hand and a little brown baby hand, because I used to be the little brown baby hand. Love those guys. Don't love Cody's on-screen gimmick right now, but that's a different story. We'll get to his fucking match. Sorry. Congratulations on your baby. Fuck you and QT Marshall. Can I... Like, look, you're supposed to tell friends what you really think, right? You're supposed to tell people that you appreciate. Like, you don't like Brock fucking Anderson. We'll get to it in a minute. Anyway, let me finish this fucking Lucha Underground because now I'm fired up. Now I'm fucking pissed.
So there's one more vignette, and then we can go to break and come back and
well, no, there's one more thing. There's one more thing that happened. There's one more thing that happened at the end of the match.
What happened at the end of the match?
The pallbearers come and get the coffin. Our Day of the Dead pallbearers come and get the coffin, and one of them is Santos Escobar. I mean, Fantasma.
You know what's cool about that?
King Cuerno.
You know what's cool about that? No one in the crowd knew. The only person who knew was the person holding the camera zoomed in.
Correct. There was no crowd reaction. Crowd did not know because he had his back to all of us, and we were all looking at like going, "Where'd Katrina go? What's going on? I don't understand. Yeah. Why did they lose? What happened?" Everybody was like shocked and dumbfounded at the end of this whole experience. And yes, you are correct. Go ahead, Byron.
What? Oh, I was going to say, I also enjoyed when they started shooting the Katrina gimmick, when they would just turn the lights off. She'd run out of the ring, turn them back on. She'd be gone. Like,
and everyone would go,
the whole Smart Mark crowd was like, yeah, I get it. Let's do it.
Yeah. Like we would just played along with it every time, and everyone would just be like, whoa, what just happened?
As opposed to just completely shitting on the whole thing.
Yeah.
It was cool. Because it was a fun.
Well, it allowed them to keep doing it too. Because if we'd shit on it the first time, I guarantee it would have stopped immediately. There's one more vignette left, but I don't think it really has any bearing on the other overall mystique and interest that was garnered by Lucha Underground at all. I don't think anybody really cared about this vignette. People didn't talk about it for years or anything.
No, it definitely wasn't a cliffhanger that lasted for 3 seasons.
Yeah, it didn't have any relevance or importance to the storyline whatsoever. Anyway, this is this final vignette. Our Councilman Delgado, played by Lorenzo Lamas, enters the limousine very nervously. Again, nice to have real actors, even though Lorenzo Lamas isn't the greatest actor in the world. He knows how to play it a little bit, and so he actually looks frightened. and he meets with a cigar smoking man in gloves, a mystery man. And Delgado lets us know that Matanza, who thinks he's the most powerful man walking the earth, is not, because it is this guy. So it's an interesting little twist here. Yeah.
Can I? Do you think this is a nod to the cigarette smoking man? Cigarette man?
I think originally it was, and then it became a nod to Inspector Gadget and Dr. Claw.
Yes.
But I think this original one, Inspector Gadget, with Matthew Broderick.
That was Get Smart.
No, that was the dude from The Office.
Oh.
Matthew Broderick was Inspector Gadget.
That really happened?
Yeah, that's a real movie, bro. Look it up. I'm not even kidding. Inspector Gadget with Matthew Broderick is a movie.
Is it good?
Byron, what do you think? You don't remember it. You don't know about it. And I'm telling you that the kid from War Games was Inspector Gadget in a movie later in life.
It was not bad in War Games.
No. I'm talking about later in life, though. Wasn't so terrible. And
that's after he murdered someone, right?
And Ferris Bueller either. Anyway, this is one of the most influential, I think, vignettes of all time in wrestling. I think the Rey Mysterio lawn dart might be the second most.
Yeah.
And then the giving birth to a hand might be the third most. I'm just kidding. But you remember it. Everyone remembers that one. Anyway, let's take a quick break, Byron, and then I can come back and bitch about Cody and QT Marshall before we fucking wrap this thing up. We'll be right back after this.
If you're listening to this and you haven't visited luchacentral.com, it's time to do it. LuchaCentral.com is the online home for Lucha Libre, where you can get all of the top news in English and in Spanish. Find the best curated video content and original content not seen anywhere else. Find when Lucha Libre events would be happening in your area. Find photo galleries from top photographers covering Lucha Libre around the world. From weekly polls to annual awards. Seen and read by top executives in all of the major Lucha Libre promotions across the globe. And on top of that, it's free. LuchaCentral.com, your centralized place for all things Lucha Libre.
All right, everybody, it's scissor time. We're going to talk about some AEW Dynamite. Byron, is that belt out yet? That replica belt? When's that come out?
All right, so the replica belt that I've been sort of talking about has been announced for pre-orders starting Wednesday, the day after this show. I don't know what time of day, but it's going to be up for pre-order. It is a top of the line replica belt. So this is like as close to the real deal as you can get, right? They did a photo shoot with it. I think you could see some of the photos on their social media next to the actual belt, the TV belt. You can't tell the difference. And I swear that they've been using it on TV. I swear that on Impact, Don Callis had the replica belt for Kenny's match there. Because you see Don Callis hold it up really easily, and it's a heavy piece of metal.
And you know what you don't see?
What?
The AAA Mega Championship.
Yeah. So this thing,
I swear to God, the reason that they had it on TV when they did the last couple times is because Conan was actually there. I swear to God, he brings it to them, and there's only one of those fucking things. This is unconfirmed, but I really think that that's the case. He does not get to walk around with that thing.
Anyway. Yes, I mean, I wish they had the AAA belt on TV more. But yeah, so this belt, top of the line, it's probably the most realistic, 100% accurate official replica out there. Maybe rivals the New Japan replica belt.
You have one of those, don't you? You have the IWGP?
I got the IWGP replica,
the good one,
then
right?
I sold it.
Yeah. Oh, you don't have it anymore? That one was dope. I
remember
you having that one.
I have a different one. That's actual ring quality of that one. I decided to keep the ring quality one instead of the replica. It was really good, but it was also like a hollow metal cast. The one I got was stacked plates, blah, 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 blah. So this one is stacked plates. It's everything. It's really great. It's going for $6.99, which is a high price, but it's it's worth
Seems
it
fair
if
though.
you want to do it. It's very fair, but it's just they're only offering that price point. WWE offers, if you want a belt, they'll sell you a belt at anything, plastic, whatever. You can pay $20 for one for a kid's belt, or you can pay $400 or $500 for a good.
Is there anyone making the Gift of the Gods belt?
So Lucha belts you can get them all bootlegged, and
but they just make it like the real belt, right? Who made the real one? Do we know?
Top Rope belts. Randy at Top Rope. I haven't reached out to him, but I wonder if their deal expired yet, so they can start making replicas. That's a tough one to make. It's an $8,000 belt.
Yeah, I mean, I'd buy one. Like if you're gonna have a collector's item.
Yeah, but you need the medallion thing going on. You can get like a cheap eBay whatever, but it has the medallions like made into the plates.
No, I want the actual magnetic medallions, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy one. I'm gonna buy the real deal. Hey, can I tell you what the feel good moment of the week was, Byron? The feel good moment of the week in wrestling.
What was the feel good moment of the week?
It was Cody and the debuting Brock Anderson defeating Aaron Solo and QT fucking Marshall. Yay!
My whole thing on this match was I was surprised to hear any crowd reaction at all, and I was like, "Oh, they're doing a good job." I hear some cheering.
That's because it was all their friends or people that Cody pays money to. Of course, they're cheering. They're like, "Yay, Brock! You didn't wear a polo shirt into the ring. Yay!" Whatever. I want to talk about this opening match because, I've had this idea that like a wrestling promotion would be really cool if you did worked thing with some wrestling rules and some MMA rules where you had rounds, though I also think the one addition to it should be judges. I think I could do a promotion where you had short rounds, short breaks. It gives you guaranteed commercial breaks. You could do it more like an MMA thing, and it could be really, really fun. Like almost a combination of what this first match was with Bloodsport, but you put in like a pan
something with Joe and Angle.
Yeah, I mean, people have done it from time to time. I just think a whole promotion of it would be cool. A little more like Pancrase crossed with Bloodsport kind of thing, where maybe you even allow open slaps and stuff, but maybe closed fist stuff. I don't know. But you have people square up, and actually throw stuff and do the stuff we keep begging Cross to do, like some Muay Thai sparring-esque stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe you throw in a knockout here and there. You could have some celebrity judges. You could do some scorecard stuff. I think it would give you some really cool storyline options too. But this was, what did you think, Byron? I mean, from the reactions that I was reading from a lot of people, most people thought that this was too slow, and a lot of people didn't get it. This cage match.
I mean, I'm going to say straight up that I liked it. I thought it served its purpose. And then I also liked how they treated the storyline at the end, where there was a bit of respect, but then they still had a bit of a brawl and added a complexity to it. I mean, I think that...
I think that's the high point of it, though. I mean, I think the MMA part of it left a little bit to be desired.
That's true, but I also think, I mean, they were working it. They did a straight up octagon, which I thought was cool. But I think like if we're used to like the better MMA fights, the more entertaining MMA fights, which are the lighter weight classes. If you've seen a lot of the heavyweights fight, they're hugging against the cage most of the time. And this was more
or just a knockout. Like a heavyweight fight is really exciting when you get a knockout. No one is watching a heavyweight fight for the ending that you get here, which is a submission. Right. It's pretty, I mean, and you get them every now and then, but it's pretty uncommon. Like heavyweights knock each other out, or they go the distance and hug and sweat on each other a lot. That's typically what you get from a heavyweight fight.
Yeah, I thought this was great with regards to that as a heavyweight fight. Also, it's worked. Also, yeah, you have one guy who isn't an MMA guy, and you have another guy who is, but he's more of a wrestler, and he's doing more of a strike game in this. And so, like, yeah, they worked a little slow. Strikes were a little slow, but I thought they put the effort in, and I thought it was a fun match. It was a new presentation, and it was a clean finish. Like,
yeah,
what more do you want? They're not luchadors.
Well, what I want is, look, for something that they don't do very often, that is not just a gimmicked match, it's a different style of match. I think the only way that something like this gets better is you have to do more of them. And it's not just about the wrestlers knowing what's going on. It's also about the promotion knowing how to do this style of match. Just like, you have enough tag matches, you know how to do a tag style of match. But AEW also needs to do more battle royals because they haven't gotten that completely dialed in yet either. You know what I mean? Like practice makes perfect. So I think kudos for the effort. I wish it had been a little more high profile. You know me, and we've had this discussion before. I'm not a big fan of opening with the big match thing. It just feels not big enough to me. I get the hot start thing, but for me, putting the co-main event in the opening slot, and in this case, what I feel should have been the main event of the night in the opening slot, just because somebody from the fucking Elite wasn't involved or Cody doesn't mean that it isn't the main event. This was the main event storyline wise and hype wise, or what you could get, and you're putting it right at the top. I find that bizarre. But anyway, it's neither here nor there. Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky defeat Darby without stink. That is exactly the way that storyline should have gone. What else happened?
That was, by the way, that's something you don't see a lot in wrestling, unfortunately, where you have a babyface go and do a handicap match,
take on a challenge, and just get his ass handed to him because he took on too much of a challenge. Like,
he
wow,
did the best he could, commendable, and you lose. Yeah, because you're fighting two guys at once. There you go.
That's exactly what it should be. That you're undersized and you're taking on two guys. You're supposed to lose, unless it's like 4 months into it and it's a blow off. It's a big deal, and you've worked up to it the right way. It was accurate storytelling for a change, as well as Orange Cassidy beating Cesar Bononi. That was also accurate storytelling.
That was a fun match in general.
Penelope Ford. I like Penelope Ford.
I'm
not
who
going to
else
say
does?
She's great, but there's some promise there. What?
You know who else likes her?
Who?
Jim Ross. Every time she does the splits, he goes through puberty again.
And I mean, look, I feel like I like Penelope Ford for some of the same reasons that Jim Ross likes Penelope Ford, but do I have to be gross about it?
Yeah.
I mean, I have to be gross about it when it's Red Velvet, but I don't have to be gross about it when it's Penelope Ford. I can just appreciate that she's attractive and she's an interesting wrestler that I think, her appearance combined with her in-ring thing that she's doing makes her a good prospect. It makes her good television.
Right. I agree.
Without me having to scream puppies in the middle of her match.
Like Jim Ross is doing some sort of read during the intros, and then when she does the splits, he'll stop mid-sentence and just go, wow.
Right.
This man is like 75 years old.
Oh God, my friggin' back.
Yeah.
How's your back doing? I've still got a broken rib.
My back is doing great. I officially have slipped discs and not holding a camera anymore, which is the thing I've done for the last 15 years. So
yeah, maybe not so much on
great.
that. It's one of the reasons why I stopped was breaking my shoulder.
Yeah, that was smart for you. Maybe I should have tried the same thing at the same time.
So look, you get a little involvement from Miro here too. And then you get Britt doing her promo and Vicky interrupting, and you get the tag team setup thing, but whatever. I mean, they're continuing storylines.
What did you think of Andrade's interview?
There's nothing wrong with that. I think Andrade is a superstar that's not a star. Does that make sense?
I think they're definitely. I mean, he's definitely. He has an aura about him, and they are protecting.
He has
him
the charisma, but I don't.
Way.
Yeah, but that's part of the problem, because I think that they have to.
Yeah,
and I don't
I mean,
know
he'll
why.
get there. I hope, but it's because he can't.
What is it
actually
that
cut the
doesn't
English
work about
promo. Everyone
Andrade?
thinks he can. Matt. It's because you've seen it in
But
Santos
it's a shame
Escobar.
because he's got the passion, and it's not like he's tripping all over his words or anything weird, but something about it just isn't very eloquent. There's just it's like it's a star that doesn't know how to have a star making turn. You know what I mean? He just
I think he'll
doesn't
get there.
quite have it yet.
I
don't disagree. Again, I think he is actually a star. It's just a question of getting him to that star-making moment. Somehow, somebody has to figure out how to gimmick him up the right way or put him in the right situation that allows him to be a star and not just send him out and expect him to be a star. I don't think it's going to work that way.
When he can cut a good promo in English live, that's going to tie it together. And when he can do that in character.
Right.
Because still, like his promo, this taped interview, definitely protected, definitely scripted out, and his English grammar was a little awkward. However, it was still great.
Well, is that awkwardness lessened or increased by Jim Ross?
In a taped interview where Jim Ross still gets his name wrong.
Yeah, exactly. So you got two guys tripping over their fucking words. Instead of the one who's supposed to be tripping on his words.
Why don't you have Excalibur interview him?
Why don't you have Excalibur do a lot more things in general? Like Excalibur ain't the end all be all, but he's certainly a better option than the one, some of the ones that they avail themselves of on a regular basis.
Yeah, he's learned how to do an ad read and send a commercial by now and do a station break, right? So like, let him do something.
Hey, Byron.
Yeah.
You know what would be really cool to happen in wrestling?
What
Pentagon would really be cool to happen in wrestling this week is if one of my favorite luchadors, Pentagon, would get a high profile headlining match and get to do really exciting things like be sprayed in the face and lay on his back for people. The fuck, man? Like, I get it. The Elite, okay, whatever. They're the top guys, but man, is this not starting to feel a little NWO-ish and like not the good NWO? I'm talking like Wolfpack NWO-ish here.
I mean, sure, we can say that. I definitely cared the least about this match. I saw the promo. Kazarian is doing some form of religious archangel gimmick where he'll quote scripture and then say, but he's a bad man and he's going to fight. And then Pentagon is like, they're not doing anything with me, so I'm just going to keep wearing my Joker gear because I paid a lot of money for it. And then he takes the pin in a match with Kazarian in it. No disrespect, but Penta takes the pin. Also, you have...
I mean, people wonder why Casey doesn't want to talk about wrestling anymore. This is why. This is what they do to his favorite wrestler every fucking week now.
And Eddie, too. Eddie can take a pin. Eddie's not going to get hurt by that.
It's literally his job. That's what Eddie's there for. Cut exciting promos and then take the pin at the end of the night. It's ridiculous.
I don't care about, to be honest, whatever. I don't care about that match. Like, whatever. And also, like,
AEW has to get a head writer, man. They have to. Somebody's got to start controlling the flow of this thing. Fucking Matt Jackson clearly laid out this whole match and wrote this whole angle, other than Kazarian's stuff, which was clearly not even really a part of this and is his own gimmick and whatever. It's like, come on, guys. They need a writer. They need a goddamn writer.
Yeah, they need one, and it's kind of beginning to turn into Don Callis. Or if you're Impact Star on Twitter, Don Cal Ass, which is a super clever play on words.
I know, man. I wonder what my boy Chris Bay's doing for Juneteenth today.
He should be doing he 100% is not a draw right now, but he should be doing the stuff to make him a draw. I don't know why he's not more heavily featured more often doing stuff.
Like, he's your guy. He's your guy. Yeah. They did it with Rich, and they let Rich be the guy. Like, let Pay be the guy for a little bit. Put him over. Anyway, I don't know. I just think it's fucking ridiculous. Pentagon just, I will be. And here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. The locker room at AEW is one of my favorites of all time. I love a lot of the people that they have there. There's so much fucking talent in that locker room. But what they are doing as a promotion sometimes right now is just irksome. I don't even have a better word for it. It's like, I want to watch, I want to love it. I want to be the AEW mark that you see on the web. I want to fucking give every match 5 stars. But you know what? It's not PWG. They're not even doing that good a job. Like, PWG is just fucking fun. And something about AEW at times just isn't even fun.
Yeah.
It feels like work to watch it.
Kenny, I really enjoy AEW, but yeah, some stuff is definitely beginning to fade. Kenny is definitely going the Hollywood Hogan route, which is not a good thing. It's not a good thing. There's no camp version of that with nostalgia to come back and be fun, like the Bucks, the Elite, Bullet Club was like with NWO and DX.
I like the Kenny Omega storyline better with Impact than I do with AEW, if that makes sense.
His storyline with Jungle Boy is fallen so flat, but it's also like Jungle Boy isn't carrying his half of it, unfortunately.
He can't, and that's why it should be Orange Cassidy or somebody else. I don't know.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be Jungle Boy yet. I like that they're giving him a shot and letting him do some work, but they can't stretch it out too much longer because, like the Kenny thing, Kenny's holding up the world. And if you're going to do this crazy belt collector thing, man, you got to make it count. And the fact that they're not touring right now and that Kenny can't like run around or show up at some indies, like they should be doing all that kind of stuff.
That's like
they should have Kenny showing up at Ring of Honor and just standing in the crowd with all his belts. They should have him, going and winning some indie promotions belt and then dropping it back a week later or whatever. Like they should just have they should be working it across the board. If Kenny wants to do this thing, he should be putting in the extra time, doing the whole shit.
Yeah.
I just think that would be the way to go. So
they can do it. Mox was supposed to do it before COVID.
They should all do it. Anyway, look, stop fucking over Pentagon. Happy Juneteenth. Yeah. Happy Father's Day to all you new dads out there in the wrestling game. And God bless America. Red Velvet, if you ever find yourself in need, just remember, stay calm and stay in the mix.